Well, welcome back to 4th and 3 Dudes, episode number 22 coming at you, and we've got another special guest. We're going to get to him in just a minute. I'm Chris Nama coming to you from here in lovely Peachtree Corners, Georgia, and everybody else go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Cord, am I next? I'm Bernie.
Never gets old.
Chris Burnett down here in St. Mary's, Georgia, where it is just lovely.
I'm Cord, former Division I mathlete, and according to my numbers, we just dropped another 10 points in the podcast rankings.
Hey, that's good.
There you go. And we have a guest joining us, like I said, from the Flats all the way through Cedartown, and Mr. Chris Miranda. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let everybody know.
Yeah, I'm Chris Miranda from Dunwoody, Georgia. Long-suffering Tech fan since the late 80s, at least. Yeah, so here today because we at least finally had a good day. So we'll talk about that a little bit.
There's the shirt.
Oh,
Hey, we talking about the ACC? Stanford.
Hey, foul on the plate. Where's my flag? The flag, Cord.
Oh, my laptop works now.
He's not going to come back.
We are very glad you're joining us. I was actually roommates with Chris's brother at the University of Georgia my freshman year. Bernie lived on the hall with us. Of course, Jim told me he was from an entirely different city than where he apparently was from.
Not responsible for my brother.
You do not want to be held responsible for your brother. So, but anyway, I guess let's go ahead and start off with what you're drinking. Who wants to go first with that?
I'll go first.
There you go, buddy.
I'm rehydrating from golf tonight, but also have a backup makers and ginger ale.
Just a pernicious again.
I've got the Sweetwater 420 tall boy. So
The tall boy.
I'm going. I can't remember if I did this before or not, but it's the key lime pie goza. Oh my goodness,
Fancy
this baby
boy.
is good.
That's one of Cord's beers.
Cord would not drink that beer.
You've been in Cord's beer fridge.
Oh no, it's from Six Bridges Brewing up in Johns Creek.
I'm about to pull out a Jenny Cream Ale in a minute.
Yes. Oh boy.
Get those
As long
things.
as it's not the moonshine y'all are drinking Saturday night.
Oh, dude, that was like a mind eraser. All I know is when he went and got my fancy glasses and brought that down there and started pouring, I should have run. It did not turn out well, but at least I
It
remember
was
the football.
good. You liked it.
I did like it. I mean, nice.
Was it
notes of
flavored?
plum? No, I mean it was a strong. It was a Belgian strong ale. Yeah, and it was. What was the ABV on that paper?
Oh, like 10 or 100 or something like that.
I thought it had to be at least 10. But
Somewhere
again,
between 10 and 100. Okay. Well,
somewhere in there.
what's 90 points?
Somewhere between beer and barrel run.
oh my goodness, it was. Yes, it was. I've been told I don't remember. Well, actually, realize I don't remember many of the details from the night after that. But hey, it was a good time. All right. Well, speaking of that day, let's go ahead and get into some football. And in honor of our guest here, I think we should go ahead and start off talking about Georgia Tech's incredible victory over Clemson this past weekend.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was awesome. I don't know if you guys got to see much of the game or not. Not sure if you were watching that one. There was a lot of good football games on Saturday, but it was just a great day at the flat. So it was. We haven't had many of those super exciting days like that, and that's definitely up there on the list. So great atmosphere. I mean, the student section was just totally pumped up for it, and it ended up being a great game. I actually went back and watched it again last night and couldn't believe we actually won it. So. We certainly tried many times to give up that game. So,
man, it was a great contest. I mean, going back and forth too. I mean, a lot of the way through it. So, but yeah, I mean, y'all got out to that 13-0 lead. Then Clemson came back right before halftime and tied it up. And but yeah, so I mean, did you feel pretty confident with the way they all performed in the first half? Y'all going to be able to continue in the second half, or
not really? Because like you said, we got off to the good start, and my first thought was had so many opportunities, and I was thinking some of those threes needed to be sevens, and that turned out to be very true. Because we got down, we had a 4th and 2 on the 4-yard line, and we got stopped on our first drive. We just went right down there. And then by the second quarter, they started getting their act together, and they kind of went down there. But in that drive, when they scored their first touchdown, they actually picked up a 3rd and 23. by running the ball.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, here we go.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
So at halftime, I was honestly thinking we've got to come out. They get the ball first. We've got to stop them. And of course, they march right down the field, and they're right there threatening. And then, thank God, Omar Daniels came up with a great interception and saved our bacon there. If we hadn't stopped them there, I don't think we win that game. I think it just goes south from there. So,
gotcha.
It was definitely a great, complete team effort. Offense, defense showed up when they needed to, and special teams as well.
Yeah, and our offensive line is starting to play a lot better. During the Colorado game, I was thinking this could be a long, long season because they were not looking like they knew what they were doing. We couldn't even snap the ball in the Colorado game, so we're getting better as we go.
Wait, what team are you talking about?
Georgia Tech.
Oh, okay.
Going back to the first game, but
I thought it was the Beavers. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, that's a whole nother.
We'll wake you up. We'll wake you up when we get there.
Hey, I heard them announcing how they were practicing the fire field goal. It's like, when are you ever going to need that? Fair enough. Less than 20 seconds and no timeouts.
Yeah. We picked a good time to practice it that week.
That's a question I wanted to ask Chris, is because I think I've told you a couple of times that, when Brent Key took over and that first game against Georgia, he came between the hedges. I was there that day, and you could tell in the trenches they were ready, and they gave us all we were worth. But that end of the half field goal. I mean, you were at the game, but the TV commentator, I forget who they were, but they said it was so good about they're going to run the ball and they have just enough time to get the kicking team on the field and kick it. I just don't see that happening under the previous leadership with Jeff Midget Collins. So I'm just.
Is that his middle name?
Yeah.
I've got a different one I use. Yeah.
I'm sure you do.
Chris has some very colorful ones.
Talk to us about what Key has done to really change that program around and to be competitive in all phases of the game.
Well, I think the biggest thing is it's just his energy and his attitude of he's not going to put up with, any kind of lack of effort or any of that nature. I mean, we were so low and down in the dumps when Jeff Collins finally left. But I think with Key, to me, it's always started with the offensive line. And, he was our offensive line coach under Collins. And we were terrible. And I don't think he had anything to do with it. I think Jeff Collins was somehow screwing that up too. That's just my take. But I think he just brings an energy, and everybody, the alumni, everybody's behind him now. I mean, there were some people that were grumbling when we first hired him, but he just brings that energy, and you can tell he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he actually cares about the program. He's not just there collecting a paycheck, looking for his next opportunity. Yeah, so I just think that's what it is, and he's done well recruiting too. I think he's got a lot of good connections there. Our recruiting's getting better. So those are the things I see.
Your offensive coordinator is one of our former analysts, and I mean,
and I think we're going to lose him. We'll talk about that later, I'm sure. But I think I'm hoping we don't lose him before this season's over. Great people are firing coaches right now.
Y'all given us all we could handle, especially last year between the hedges, and that just shows that this rivalry. There's a lot of new Georgia fans that just want to see it go away, and there's just a lot of reasons to keep it. And you, I, and Nama especially, we've been to games together on the flats in Sanford Stadium, and it's just great to share that rivalry with a great friend. So.
Yeah, no, I'm hoping we will get back to where we can at least, make it interesting again. I think we have made it interesting. It'd be nice to win one here somewhere. Yeah. Last year was going to be our chance.
8 times to do that.
Talking about a game where some threes should have been sevens early on.
Yeah.
That was the one that comes to mind.
You got Georgia fans that don't want to play Tech? Don't want that rivalry?
Yeah, really? They would rather drop it. And that's just not the way the old school fans see it. They still remember the drought, back in the day, and where we just lost 8 in a row, 9 in a row to Tech, and they don't want to give it up, man. I just agree that it's a great in-state rivalry that we need to keep.
Yeah, well, I hope we can make it a rivalry again. It certainly hasn't been here as of late, of course.
Well, you got the right coach, and that was my point to begin with.
Yeah, no, I think we do too. And I'm, we'll deal with all the things that are coming down the road, but I think he's got us in the right direction. Losing a coordinator is the least of your problems. That's a good thing usually if somebody else wants your coordinators. So,
yeah, no, it's definitely y'all have definitely on an upward trajectory, and I mean we've said that a couple of times earlier in the year in this podcast that. I mean, Georgia Tech, especially now under Brent Key, has become one of the teams I'm actually most scared about on our schedule coming down the line because he's done so well with them. I guess the biggest thing, especially going back to that Colorado game, that was a concern was the whole keeping Haynes King healthy. So
that's always a thing. One of my other Georgia friends had posted something about worrying about Gunnar Stockton running and taking hits, and I'm like, be a Tech fan, man, give me a break. Pretty much every play you're wondering if he's going to get back up, but he's tough as nails. So but I'm fully expecting he will miss more time during the season. It's just the way he plays, and you can't stop that. So
yeah, I know that is that like you said, that's a lot of people have been saying about Gunnar Stockton too, because I mean,
and that Tech offense is not the easiest offense to prepare for when it's like the only team that does that all season. You're so used to defenses preparing for the drop back passers that it adds a lot of confusion for the other teams.
Yeah, it does. And it has some elements of the triple option to it as well. It's certainly not Paul Johnson's offense, but the thing that makes me feel a little better is we do have a very good backup now that's actually more of a straight back passer and throws the ball downfield. He's a better passer than King is. So that makes me feel a little better.
Yeah. But one of the other really fun things from the game, rewatching the game too with Tech was the whole 2-point conversion with a Philly special or Tech special or whatever you want to call it now. That was nice seeing them pull that thing out and executing it really well.
Yeah, because that's right in front of our weats, and we can't really see down in the end zone real well. And I didn't see the back or the receiver coming across, and I thought, we screwed this one up, so go to plan B now. But they even fooled me on that one. So.
Yeah, no, that was great. I mean, it was definitely good work by them, and because y'all had a big drought against Clemson too, right?
Yeah, we'd lost. I think it was 8 in a row, maybe 9 in a row.
Yeah,
we really hadn't been competitive with them in a while. And we've had a couple of games that were close early on. It always seems like it's good to play Clemson early. I would open the season with them every year. And one year when we were just dreadful, we kept it at 14-10 because they just couldn't do anything on offense. But a lot of those games have not even been competitive. So,
gotcha. Well, that was definitely a great win. Yeah, great win for sure. So, and I guess we'll go ahead and move over to the Georgia game now. Holy smokes!
Oh boy.
I mean, again, it's one of those that the way that thing started, I am not sure how many people thought it was going to end up the way it did. And I mean, even Kirby said that he wasn't sure it should have ended up that way. But I mean, I think that's one of the things this Georgia team has proved over the past few years is how they've come to expect that they can win these games. And I like getting a lucky break every now and then too.
Yeah. I remember last year they have a bunch of slow starts.
Oh,
yeah, the year before, and I was like, "Oh, here we go again." I mean, Tennessee scores on their first 3 drives, and they get down 14 points. But then, I mean, Georgia doesn't quit, and they got playmakers that can score on any play, and they score 20 unanswered points in the second half or second quarter.
Yeah, second quarter going into the third. So, I mean, I don't know. I still think one of the biggest plays of the game for me was that going for it on 4th down at the end of the first quarter. And with, I believe, Kirby, I mean, showing that he had the faith in the guys that they were going to be able to convert it and get it. And then when they were able to do that and then go down and score that touchdown, I think that helped swing everything back. Because, I mean, it had been such a dreadful first quarter. And having it turn around like that was definitely nice to see. But we still got a whole bunch of places we got to work on.
Yep.
But I mean,
it was definitely Court alluded to it. It's definitely a game of momentum. I mean, Tennessee owned the first quarter. We came back, and they came back, and we came back. And
Tennessee's got a good team. They got a good quarterback.
Yeah, that was definitely the best. He's the best. Fuck you.
No, it's UT.
For our listeners, Cord has changed his nerd T-shirt to offend Chris Miranda, and now offend Nam and I with wearing a Tennessee shirt. But anyway,
hey, I'm an equal opportunity offender.
My notes on it, I think the 13 personnel was key in the fourth quarter, especially. I think Riddell. I don't think we played. I think Elias Williams went, the freshman. I don't know that he played, but when they brought him in and we started running 13, we have that really helped the offensive line, which really struggled on the right side. We had a lot of youthful rotation there. We're still learning on the right side, but we're going to get healthier. But the one thing I wanted to point out is one of the pros I have is the downfield blocking. And on Branch's touchdown, it's just a swing pass. I think he has a similar one against Marshall. It was a little bit longer. But what I noticed was Lawson Lucky, our tight end, had a defensive back locked up. And then I think it was Dylan Bell further down the field had a defensive back locked up. And that just made it more than an 8-yard gain. It made it a 38-yard touchdown. Right. And as we've grown to know how Kirby manages the sideline, I look for instances when they cut to him, and I knew he was going to go first to Lucky or Bell, and he went to Lucky, and I could read the words. He said, "Great fucking block." I mean, because it was, and that's just the little things that we needed that day to turn, like I said, what would have been an 8-yard gain into a touchdown. But special teams are great. I mean, people still bitch about Bobo, but 38 minutes of possession, I mean, he did his job and used the personnel that he needed and the position groups he needed. And McCray proved we're pretty deep at running back. I liked the moment when he scored that final touchdown in overtime. And before they even played the replay, I could see him back with the coaches saying, I'm in. He knew. I mean, he knew. His legs went down. But obviously, a lot of questions on defense that I wasn't expecting. They just couldn't keep up with their receivers. And Aguilar is better. I think going into this game under Heupel, Hooker was the best quarterback he had running that offense. But Aguilar he couldn't miss. And we had one-on-ones that 50-50 balls that should have been either intercepted or batted down that were touchdowns. And that was just not good to see. So defense had moments. They had a couple interceptions, but they just couldn't stay off the struggle bus. And that was a little bit disheartening. But we'll improve. What do you see, Nama?
I mean, a lot of the same. I mean, I liked the fact that the very first play of the game was that shot down the field to Colby Young.
Right.
Again, showing the world, hey, Gunner can throw the ball, and we will call a downfield pass. Because, again, that has been one of the big things that people had been complaining about with the whole vanilla scheme or whatever from the last couple of games. But, I mean, the times Gunner was throwing downfield, he was putting the ball right on people. And receivers were doing really well. We had a couple of drops, but, I mean, one of the drops I remember from early in the game was London Humphreys dropping a ball, but he more than made up for it with what he did the rest of the way through the game.
That's perfect. We're not talking about the catch as much as the pass, but that wasn't just over his shoulder. That was over the helmet. Just right in the freaking cradle. Yeah. I think it'd be on 4th and 6. Yeah. I think it'd beauty.
Yeah, they're just trying to convert. I was afraid that he's going to slide out of bounds when he caught that like that. But my goodness, that was right on the money.
That was a great catch. That was the play of the game to me.
So on the money, you should change your T-shirt cord.
Actually, funny story. You know the story of this T-shirt?
I don't care to hear it, but if you're going to drop more listeners, then we'll hear it.
All right. But I lost. I think the best play of the game was that first rush by Nate Frazier in overtime, where he got 21 yards. Game's over.
Yeah. Texas Ainsley, I thought, this reminds me of the Rose Bowl.
Exactly.
I thought it was like a one and done, but not quite. Yeah. But yeah, great call.
But
I only saw the second half of the game, and that's the only 2 quarters of Georgia football I've seen this year. So I'm the leading expert on Georgia football, of course. So. I think Georgia's, just from what I'm seeing, it looks like they're getting better, but there are still things to fix. But I think they'll just get better as the season goes on. So I think you guys will be fine, like you always are.
I mean, Aguilar had 370 yards on him and 4 TDs.
Yeah, I mean, again, a lot.
That's not going to happen every week.
No,
easy stretch.
And I mean, again, a lot of those. I mean, yes, they were beat, but several of them. I mean, but Lord have mercy, if you're going to interfere with a guy, bring his ass down so he doesn't have a chance to catch a touchdown. But
tackle him.
Yeah, just freaking tackle him. You know, if it's going to be that ugly. But I mean, I guess the last or one of the last long ones they threw, I still swear he used our receiver's shoulder pad to get up in the air to get the ball. But whatever. Didn't see many people complaining about it, so I guess I was wrong. And it wasn't as much of a football play as I thought it appeared to be. But yeah, the defense. I mean, we finally started getting a little bit of pressure on him in the second quarter, which did affect some of the throws and created a couple of those turnovers, which was nice. But I mean, we did not see. I don't know. Didn't see the number of sacks that I was hoping we were going to be able to generate, especially with this front line. So if we get that'll continue to improve, getting the offensive line healthy and figuring out the rotation, especially on the right side, is going to be a huge part of what this off week is hopefully going to help us shore up a little bit more. But yeah, there was just, I mean, there's a lot of good on the offensive side, especially. Yeah, the whole Bobo haters again talking about why we keep throwing these screens. We throw these screens so when you have a playmaker like Zachariah, I mean, he's gonna get those 2 solid blocks and have another block downfield, and he's gonna go. I mean, Dylan Bell.
It's chess versus checkers. I mean, the screen setup plays down the road in the third quarter, and people just don't understand that. So,
and
I'm glad you made that point.
Yeah, one of the other things too is the fact that that's setting up things for later in the year, because just waiting for them to set that thing up, fake that pass to Branch and whoever's out in front holding the block to slip and go straight down the field for it too. I mean, so many different ways they're going to be able to.
Hopefully against Tech.
Hopefully against Tech or anybody else, or Florida or any of them. But yeah, so. It was good. A lot of stuff to work on.
I don't see Miranda texting Brent Key right now. But
I know.
Wait, they just gave away the play.
Yeah. we don't talk till Thursdays. So.
Okay.
All right. Well,
keep drinking.
But yeah, I mean, it was fun to not have it be I mean, again, when it came down to them trying to kick the field goal at the end of regulation. It was just, I mean, people were wondering why Kirby kept calling those timeouts. I mean, every timeout he called, even though he knew it was not going to get us the ball back, made that kicker think about it a little bit more, a little bit longer. And I think that all led into it. And then when they got that false start penalty, and Dype was like, we better kick this thing before we screw it up. Which, speaking of the false starts, with all the noise and everything else, the fact that we had 0 false start penalties in that, and Tennessee did. It was just, I think it's one of those strange.
That's what I was worried about. I was worried about the crowd. They're going to stripe everything or checker everything, and I told you, Chris, you got to get these fans knocked out of the game quick.
Yeah,
that slow start, it didn't. It just kept them hanging on and hanging on. But yeah, it worked out, I guess.
It did.
Before we leave this game, did y'all see the guy at the end of the game that kept focusing on?
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name now, but I saw today where he called in sick.
He did
go to that game.
He got cold played,
and then he leaves the stadium. Checked his phone. He has like 220 text messages from everything from his wife to his boss.
Yes,
poor guy. I felt sorry for him after the third time. I was like, stop cutting to this guy. He's like a ball of emotions, you can tell. But alongside of that, you could see it in Heupel as he came to meet Kirby midfield. The body language just said it all. They put everything they could into this game, and and we still found a way to win. And good Dawgs.
About the older Tennessee fan?
Yes.
Yeah, he's like
with his hands on his head.
Mm-hmm.
He's like this. He's like,
okay, yeah, I saw him at the end.
Yeah,
I didn't notice him. I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
you're saying he'd been overserved. Yeah.
Oh, no. He was, I mean, again, it was one of those where he actually said he'd received almost as many texts from Georgia fans as he did from Tennessee fans. It's like you were wearing every person watching this game's emotions on your face.
Yeah, we could all feel it.
I kept thinking he was the dad of the kicker or something. I mean, it was one of those where it's like you keep going back to the same person. You think he's got something more.
And that's from the Jumbotron. So how did he not see himself? Because if I'm called in sick to work and I'm at the game, I'm like going to be hiding behind somebody or
that doesn't work.
Changing seats. I don't know. Anyway, it was
afterwards.
It just spoke to the tension of the game, and I think Tennessee gave it everything they had. I'm just glad we came out on top and got 9 in a row.
Yep. All right. Well, talking about some other games. I mean, I'm not sure if Cord's got a wardrobe change for this one, but those Beavers. It is not going well.
They had a bye, Chris.
Oh, they did?
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
it's Texas Tech.
Before I start bleeding again.
Another prop.
See, now I can just pull them out.
For our listeners, last week Cord had a brain bleed, and now he's stopping up his nose with.
Now I think it's got plugged. My goodness. The only thing worse getting beat that bad is extending that game for like 7 hours. Good thing we had 3 TVs going, but I don't know. I mean, we had 12 yards rushing. Didn't have as much passing as we normally have. It was just a beatdown all around. But I'll be brief. The good news is we only had 4 penalties for 25 yards. So that's a different improvement. And then Tech had 9 for like 75. And we're still first in the Pac-12, along with Ole Miss in SEC and Tech at ACC. And lastly, we got the Ducks right where we want them.
They are. They have no idea what's coming.
They come in. No, y'all go there this week, right?
Yeah. And the Beavers have a 18-game losing streak on the road against ranked teams. But Oregon's overrated anyway, so it probably doesn't matter.
And you're getting 35 points.
Yeah, well, they're going to need more than that.
Yeah. Seeing as they were down 35-0 right at the beginning of the fourth quarter.
We were down 45-0 before we sniffed the end zone. And I think, they had the scrubs in at that time.
Yeah. Oh, it was.
You know what? Another good thing is I'm glad I didn't go to that game.
Yes. That would have been tragic.
Imagine being stuck in that stadium with all those Tech fans,
Texas
the
Tech.
rain delay for 3 hours.
My ears go up every time you're saying Tech here. With such angst. Yeah.
Yes.
Such angst.
Oh,
Red Riders. All right, what's next? Move on.
Okay. I guess some of the other big games that were out there, LSU were able to force Lagaway into 5 interceptions and hold on to win 20-10 in that game. So, which helped cover my lock of the week. Whew. It was.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nussmeier. I mean, again, for the guy who almost everybody, aside from Feinbaum, who of course loved Arch Manning way too much, they picked Nussmeier to be the top quarterback in the SEC in many of the media outlets. The fact that he is not doing quite that well is interesting, but he's got his torso injury now. So, but yeah. Any other big games you want to talk about?
About Ole Miss?
Think of. I mean, we can
Ole Miss
kind of wrap up in locks of the week update. But
the backup quarterback for Ole Miss threw 370 yards.
Yep, Chambliss came
4
in for
TDs.
Simmons. What is the prognosis?
Lane Kiffin was talking about how exhausting that prep was because they had to prepare 2 different games because they didn't know if Simmons was going to go or not, and so they actually had 2 different game plans. But man. Simmons came in for 1 play in the second quarter, threw a touchdown and limped off. So he wasn't ready. But Chambliss, he came from Ferris State, and they won the national championship in their division. So they're good in the quarterback wise, but defense, gosh, I think Arkansas had 522 yards defense or offense against them.
Yeah.
So they're not as good as last year's Ole Miss team, in my opinion, but we'll see.
How long is Simmons supposed to be out, or is this creating a quarterback controversy now?
Yeah, that's what.
Well, no, I don't think so. He'll be back next weekend. He was in a boot all last week, so game time. Regardless, they still got two good quarterbacks.
Yep. Well, that Mizzou game, of course, with my daughter being up Mizzou, that was a fun one to watch on TV early on, and having their running back go for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns was, even though it was against the Raging Cajuns of Louisiana Monroe or whatever, but yeah, that boy can play pretty well. But they've got a much bigger test this week potentially, depending on what happens with Lenore Sellers and everything. So,
yep.
All right. Well, should we jump to the games of the week? Chris, any other big games you saw, or especially playing out in the ACC? Or
I think, like everybody, I was kind of surprised by the Vandy score, and I think they were going to beat them even without Sellers. I mean, they were already ahead of them even when he went out. So, but that one surprised me that they beat him as badly as they did.
Yeah. Yep. They did. All right. Well, Bernie, want to give us the wrap up on the locks of the week from last week then?
Well, we'll jump off of Miranda's point. I mean, I wish my cousin Kate had followed my advice and taken Missouri. But, so the good news, we'll start with the top. The guest, Nama, Cord, we all won. Like Nama referred to. LSU covered the 8.5 against Florida. Vandy didn't need 5.5 against South Carolina, so I wish I had taken him on the money line. And then Cord had Oklahoma minus 23 against somebody.
Temple.
Anyway,
Temple.
So that's Tech's opponent this week. But Kate and Ainsley, our guest hostesses last week. Kate took the Gamecocks for some reason. Sorry, cousin Kate. And Ainsley came a little bit closer. She took Notre Dame minus 6.5. So a lot of pressure on Mr. Miranda tonight to pick a good game. Going into this week, our guest hosts are 0-2. But season totals, I'm sorry. Name is now 1-1. No, I'm sorry. He leads 2-1. I'm 1-1, and Cord is 1-2. Even though he pledged on air to take 5 weeks off before he started winning.
My bad.
He's our 2024 winner of
conference champion.
Yeah, conference
yes.
champion. Yeah. So that leads us into this week.
All right. Well, Chris, do you want to go ahead and lead us off? Give it your best shot.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Miami Hurricanes against Florida. I just don't see that game being close, and I may be too much of an ACC homer here, and you can have fun at my expense next week. But I don't think that one's going to be that close from what I've seen of those two teams.
So I have them minus 7.5. Is that what you have?
I was even going with 9.5, but I'll take the 7.5.
Since you're offered it, I'm taking it.
We don't like the Gators, and we're going to give you 7.5. And I agree. I don't think you need it. But
how about you, Cord?
I think I'm going to ride the Sooner train going against Auburn. 6.5 at home.
Going to go against their old quarterback. So Jackson Arnold's now at Auburn or whatever. They didn't have the easiest time against. I think they played South Alabama this past week. They won, but
yeah, they were struggling early, especially.
Yeah. So well, I am going to get back on the Missouri train, and I think they're going to cover against South Carolina. I'm hoping Sellers isn't going to play, but again, the way their backup quarterback has come in, well, I guess he wasn't back up for very long. One play, and he was in the starter position for Mizzou. But yeah, he's been doing well. The running game's been doing well. They've been playing good defense, and I've got that line at what do you have it, Bernie? Before I say what I've got it,
I had it minus 13, but that was yesterday.
Minus 10.5 is what it has now.
The timing of this is like in a half hour, we're going to know if Sellers is playing or not. So that line is going to jump. So let's keep it at 13 because we don't know right now.
Well, I've got it as minus 10.5 on here.
What kind of a fake betting line are you looking at, Emma?
The one on ESPN.
This is from yesterday. So I look at BetUS because that's what we use. So
gotcha. All right. Fine. I'll take that too. So whatever. And
take both, and we'll just give you what you need. How about that?
Yeah, I'd say I still like the minus 10.5, but whatever. Bernie, that leaves you, my friend.
Well, I also liked Oklahoma, but Cord took them. I was going to go with Missouri, but now it's I forget. Last year, did we have
same bet?
Pick the same bet?
No, you can. Well, I don't think
nothing against it.
My alternate is Syracuse plus 17 against Clemson. I think Clemson is reeling, but I'm a Nama. I don't like Missouri, but I don't think Sellers is going to play. If he does, I'm not sure how effective it's going to be, and I think under 2 touchdowns is a good line to have. So I'm going to go Missouri with Nama, and we'll figure out that line.
Yeah, right now it's minus 10
in our text thread. Minus 10.
He's now minus 10 even. It just keeps getting better and better for us, Bernie. All right. Well, now that we got that, I guess we can look ahead. I mean, one of the things, again, having a tech aficionado on the show with us, talk about thinking of the way the season ahead is looking. I mean, things are setting up very well for Georgia Tech. Don't you think so, Chris?
Yeah, no, I think you couldn't ask for anything better. So I was pretty high on this season anyway, and part of it was the schedule. We just got a much easier ACC schedule this year than we did last year. We played a lot more of the top teams, and this year we don't play any of them. And so with my friends, we always predict the start of the season, and I had said my head was telling me 9-3, but I went with 10-2, and I said we would beat either Clemson or Georgia and lose to somebody we shouldn't lose to. And that's, to me, that's really my biggest worry right now, is that we're just going to not get up for one of these games, because that's been Key's real weakness since he's been there. So since he's been coaching at Tech, we were 7-1 against ranked opponents in the ACC, and we're under one game under 500 in unranked opponents. So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. We just played down to our competition at times when we had no reason to do that. So that's my biggest worry. It's almost like this is going to be the hardest part of our season, but I'll take right where we are. I think it shapes up very well for going in. And if we mess it up, we don't have anybody to blame but ourselves. So
yeah.
Going back to Nama and your point earlier about Haynes King, how do you see them protecting him down the road through this middle stretch of the season, if you will, so they can have him healthy for the end of the season?
I really don't know that they do. I'm thinking maybe we'll get Aaron Philo, the backup, in more games if we get ahead early. But you just you can't do anything with Haynes King. That's the way he plays. That's all he does. Right. So you can't. I wasn't.
Can't deprogram that. Yeah.
He passed a lot better in this game. I mean, he got some. I kind of worried that maybe his arm strength wasn't totally there, but he convinced me it was against Clemson, because he hit some really key passes. He didn't have a ton of yards, but I don't know that they can do anything to protect him other than just limit the number of plays that he is in on. So I'm hoping that we'll have a chance to maybe rest him some, in the end, early in the third quarter, at the end of the third quarter. He's going to want to be out there.
Didn't Georgia fans see a little bit of Philo, or am I imagining that in that 8 overtime game? Didn't King come out a little bit? Or
he may have had to. I honestly can't remember. I was that Tennessee guy during that game.
No, he did, because there were several situations. Because
I remember seeing him last year, and I remember him saying
he played the entire Notre Dame game. So we saw him there, and he really did not do well. But he came out against Gardner-Webb and was just lighting it up. And he took us to a win against NC State last year. So Haynes King was out for several games last year, and I really suspect that'll be the case again. I just hope that it's minor things that can heal quickly.
Yeah. No, I think they brought him in several of the more obvious passing situations against Georgia, especially in the sometimes.
I think you're right, because Haynes King definitely did not have the arm strength in the Georgia game.
He did not. Everything else he did so well, but he couldn't. Yeah, he couldn't in that one. So, looking at it, like you said, you don't face another ranked opponent, at least for right now, through the rest of the season. Of these teams that you've got, which one do you think might be the biggest chance for a letdown, or is there a traditional one that y'all have had a little more trouble with?
Well, first of all, we've got to just light up Temple. I hope we don't have a letdown, because that's where Jeff Collins came from. Not to harp too much on the Jeff Collins thing, but we owe them a little bit for. And we actually played them when he first coached here and lost 24-2. So the only thing we managed to score was a safety. And I can't remember, but I think maybe the running back fell down in the end zone. I don't think it was anything we did. So, but originally I would have been worried about Virginia Tech, but they've just imploded. So that by the time we see them, they may have the water boy and a couple of cheerleaders out there playing, because I think everybody's going to skip out of town on that one. Yep. So I think probably at Duke and at NC State are the two I would worry about the most on our schedule, just because it's on the road, and Duke has a really good quarterback. He can light it up, and we're not getting pressure. That's been kind of our Achilles heel. So we've got good defensive backs, but we just don't get enough pressure on quarterbacks in general. So I think that could be a problem. And then Pitt and Georgia Tech always go toe to toe. That's just how that series has gone in the past. There's really been very few blowouts in that series since they joined the ACC.
Gotcha. All right. Well, it's definitely going to be an exciting rest of the season. So, and if both of us somehow manage to find a way to be undefeated for that Black Friday game, goodness gracious.
That would be great. And as a Tech fan with our schedule, we got to root for Clemson and Georgia, and that's just not natural. But we're going to need all the help we can get as far as strength of schedule. So.
But speaking of that game, that Georgia game, where do you stand on the whole moving that game to Mercedes versus?
I can answer that, because I was thinking about that today, because you and I had this conversation, Miranda, back in the mid-90s. I forget who the athletic director was, but he said, let's move our home games to the Georgia Dome. And I said, what is your feeling on that? And you're like, fuck him. Because we don't need more screaming Georgia fans in there. So I have a feeling that I understand the money side of it. It's a lot of money for their gate. And I don't know the other aspects of the financials, but I'm sure it's a big gate and a big payday. But as a fan, how like Namath said, how do you feel about playing that game in the Benz?
I'm not very happy about it. I have not changed much in the 20 plus years you've known me. I guess it's longer than that. It's more like 35 now, isn't it?
Conversation. I think it's on Joe and Callie's front porch, their first house. If I remember, we were sharing a beer, and you said, no, that is not something the alumni want.
We've done a deal where we've played one game at Mercedes-Benz every year, and it's been some great games, and it's a great place to go watch a game. But even with Tennessee, any school, we've just given up a home game. And it's depressing, and it just brings up some of the things I can only take up one seat, so I'm not happy about it, and I'm not going to that game. I'll watch it on TV. So,
but that would be the only way to keep the Tech players from ripping out the hedges in the unlikely event they do win in Athens.
It would be on the flats, and
it was supposed to be in Atlanta.
No, I'm talking about home and home. If instead of going to the Benz, they wouldn't be able to rip out the hedges. Get it?
Well, that's what we won the 8th overtime last year.
But 5 out of our last 6 wins in that series have been in Athens. So
there you go, Bernie.
Because I used to go to every one of them, as you know, but I haven't been to Athens in quite a while. So
yeah. Gotcha. All right. Well, so again, we already talked about hoping for the letdown against Temple this week. Cord, what are your feelings? Like you said, is Oregon just in the right place for the Beavers to be able to take them out?
Well, that's the only place they're going to be right now. I don't know. I'm just glad it's on the Big Ten Network, because I don't get that.
You know who's on the CW though?
Yeah, the Gilmore Girls.
No, it's not the Gilmore. It's Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech versus Temple is on the CW this week.
That's my new favorite team.
Which is great because then I don't have to watch it on the CW. I can be at the game.
Nice.
Maybe you guys will play Stanford in the ACC championship.
Not sure if that's going to happen, but all right. Well, anything else before we wrap this baby up?
No? I don't think so. I'd just like to say thanks to Chris Miranda for joining us, and congrats on the victory over Clemson. I love seeing the picture of you and Alex at the game. I assume that was after the victory, but that was a great picture. And we've all shared stories about our daughters, and you have a son, and how they're growing up now. It's just hard to believe because we used to just set them loose in supper club parties and try to have a good adult time. And now
they have grown up fast. And Alex is probably the one you should have on this call because he knows a lot more about the ins and outs of Tech football. And I get texts constantly about recruits and
make a note for next season.
Now you tell us. We got the B-League player.
Well, he hasn't totally experienced the full depths of the depression of being a Tech fan at times.
Got to be able to bring it all to the table. Yeah. Well, yes, no, definitely. Thank you for joining us, and we appreciate it, and we hope we can do it again sometime soon. But
thank you for having me. I've enjoyed this, and maybe we can do it again when we may not be able to speak right before or after the game at the end of the season. But
we understand.
Yeah. Okay. We do it. Look at the bowl matchup.
One way or the other. We understand.
Hopefully we can talk about what's going to happen when we face each other in the college playoffs at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's what I'm. That has definitely entered the conversation now as a thought. So, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. So.
Yep.
I don't have to argue with all the Georgia fans that we don't deserve to be there no matter what happens either.
Wow, the worst.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks to all of you that have stuck around this long and listened to us. We appreciate it. Be sure to like and subscribe. But Georgia's got an off week to get ready for Alabama. And until then, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Beavs.
Go Jackets.